So, I've had quite a few people comment on my videos and my Twitter saying that they or their significant others play this game or that game and they're looking for something different to play. And let me tell you, finding a co-op game to play with a friend is difficult enough. Finding a game to play as a couple is a whole nother issue entirely. Literally, the game you choose can end up either making or breaking the entire relationship. What if your partner has terrible aim? Like Styx. What if they have tunnel vision, constantly leave you to die? Like Styx. These are important questions and could ultimately lead you down a path to breaking up or divorcing. Or you could find a brand new appreciation for another. Who knows? There's a lot of MMOs, first-person shooters, simulators, survivalists, and RPGs, but how are you supposed to know which ones will truly let you play together and take you on a journey unlike any other? It was with this thought in mind that I went looking for and then compiled a list of my top 10 games to play as a couple, or just friends, or whatever you're doing right now with someone you want to hang out with. Winky face? They don't have to be DTF, but if they're DTP, then bring them along. I conducted this most auspicious experiment to find you guys some awesome games with my one and only Mr. Styx. No test subjects were harmed in the making of this video, unless you count Styx specifically, in which case I cannot be held accountable for the array of terrible situations he was thrust into. The first up is Final Fantasy XIV, an MMORPG that was released in 2010. I feel like most of you knew this was coming up on my list if you know me, since it's one of my favorite games, but it is also one of my main games to play with Styx. With the most recent release of Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy XIV has blown up even further, but Styx and I have been playing for quite a while. It took us months, literal months, to get through everything in Final Fantasy XIV, and we took our time enjoying it. I have noticed that we get so caught up in the story sometimes, I catch both of us looking at one another for a laugh at something we saw in a cutscene.
Oh shit!
Or I find myself leaking water from my eyes because it was just so touching. But it was a voyage that he and I both enjoyed going on, playing side by side throughout as a tank and healer. Nothing builds relationships up like going through tough dungeons or raids and achieving it after multiple failures. The only warning I have here is the beginning area can separate the two of you for a time depending on your class, but no worries, the story brings you back together. So if you're looking for a darn good story and the sense of accomplishment, this is the game for you. And heck, you can even get married in it. #goals. But if you prefer seeing if you can survive on a deserted island with your fellow comrade in crime, then a survival game is for you. Ark is another game that has snuck its way onto my list for couples to play. This game was released in 2015 but came out for early access in 2017. I'd been playing it since early access. You can either join a public server or purchase a private one like I did because I'm a bit of an introvert. It was nice to be teleported to a world with nothing but our naked bodies and our instincts about us to keep us alive, even if all Styx did for the first 10 minutes was stare. Honestly, this game is every Jurassic Park lover's dream, if you dream of being chased around by some of the most nightmarish creations imaginable. You are surrounded by deadly dinosaurs and beautiful environments, and you have to learn to tame and live alongside these prehistoric beings, all while unlocking this very fuzzy story. The last expansion, Extinction, kind of left us a little bit confused, but heck, we still enjoyed it. And you don't have to play alone either. You can invite your friends along for the venture if you like to double date in games. Nothing says fun like Styx coming home with 10 raptors while I spent the entire day building the entire base from the ground up while breeding T-Rexes, all the while our friend Nixie comes back with an inventory full of rocks.
Oh wait, I see everybody. I'm falling down the cliff. Goodbye!
Or some very violent new friends. Friends that enjoy eating people. Fabulous times. Portal 2 comes into this list at a high 10 out of 10 for couples. It's a puzzle platform game that came out in 2011 and is honestly super co-op. This game's purpose is quite frankly the best way to tell which person in a relationship should be in charge of finances or literally any other decision necessary in life. You're forced to work together to achieve any sort of progress in this game. It's like a virtual rendition of escape rooms with a quality dialogue to go alongside it. I had so many laughs slipping a portal under Styx's feet and popping him out into deadly situations more times than I can count. But it taught us very quickly that we work great together when it comes to critical thinking, or at least on my part, I did work well with him. I don't know. I really wish they'd make a Portal 3, but from the looks of it, I don't think we can expect to see another one anytime soon. But if you're looking to spend a fun few hours stuck in a room together, this is it right here, baby. Of course, World of Warcraft was going to show up on this list too. WoW is one of the biggest MMOs out there that was released in 2004, and there have been a lot of relationships forged from this game alone. I know probably a handful of people that actually got married having met on this game. But to give you a little background, I had never played WoW until Styx told me I had to play one of his favorite games ever, and I, being the reluctant person to play games I don't deem great looking, went with it. WoW took me on an odyssey of pure bliss for an MMO lover. I wasn't too thrilled with the look at first, but as we went along with the story, did missions, and unlocked new regions, I found myself falling in love with the game. The raids had me struggle busing alongside him, and the PvP was fabulous to do with him, even if at times we got matched with a rogue mage and druid comps. That was fun. Just be mindful that depending on the race and faction you choose, you can either start out in different areas, or if one of you goes alliance and the other horde, you'll be forced to fight one another for dominance. But I mean, if you're into that, go for it. That's the thrill of faction versus faction combat after all. There were just so many options for us to do together, I wouldn't regret spending an evening with Styx in that game. WoW is certainly a wowing experience. Next up is Borderlands, especially now that we're playing Borderlands 3. It really doesn't matter which version of the game you play, just as long as you play it, but I recommend doing it in order just for the story. It's a first-person looter shooter where you can have up to 4 people join in for fun. We opted to just go for the 2 of us, but then added our awesome friend who got shot by everything. Literally everything. Deciding who would go save her was really good for communication building. You'll also find yourself laughing at all the silly stuff that randomly happens in the game. If it's lewd, crude, or downright questionable, it's set in this game.
My chili recipe dies with me!
What I love about this game is that each time you add a player to your group, the difficulty of the game goes up. But what doesn't say couples bonding like going on a killing rampage with guns a-blazing and a story to go along with it? We spent literal hours in this game doing quests and proving who has the better aim. Me. So far, my head count is probably at least a good 1,000 more than Styx. I make no promises though, I'm just guessing. He doesn't necessarily agree with these numbers, but he knows who wears the pants in the relationship. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes a great way to spend time together is just simply by attempting to survive together. So here's another survival game. Don't Starve Together, which released in 2016. It's a very cute and simple way to go about spending time with one another. The art style is pretty interesting as well, and we usually opt to go with the land game to go in on survival mode, but there are 3 modes to pick from. You can either do survival, wilderness, or endless. The survival allows you to respawn, whereas wilderness makes you start from scratch, and endless is just very chill. Survival mode helps you ensure you work together, as if one of you dies and becomes a ghost, the living person takes the drain to their sanity, and you go insane, and you die. So when Styx died a million times over, since he likes to fight everything that moves, I had to scurry and revive him before losing my mind, which happens every day at this house. This definitely makes you stick together to survive, unless you're Styx. He's like a little child. You take your eyes off of him for 2 seconds and he's off somewhere dying, but if you like to keep it simple and sweet, this is a great rainy day game. If you like a game that has it all, Minecraft is the game for you. I know it's blown up even further recently, but your girl has been playing this game since 2011. I mean, heck, our TV even has a free channel that is strictly dedicated to Minecraft streamers. Now, I don't watch it, but it's there. Minecraft is a game that was released in 2009, and it is an open world sandbox with a variety of different ways to play it. You can hop in with your lovely other and go to the Walking Dead server to survive amongst zombies and shoot your way through it. Or you can pop into a LAN server and just explore and build together. The mini games that are in Minecraft are endless. I tried to get Styx into a few of my favorite servers, but for some reason he's banned from them. If anyone has any information on why that is, as to what he did, I'll probably never know because no one ever narcs on him. But we still enjoy digging into the ground together to hide from creepers and zombies. One of our first online dates was actually in this game. Honestly, anything you can imagine you want to do with your partner is probably in this game in some form or fashion. I would highly recommend it. Now for one of the granddaddies of RPGs, the base of all games that brought about an explosion of this type of game. Baldur's Gate, released in 1998 originally. I know some of you weren't alive then, but this was magic in the making. Styx actually grew up with Baldur's Gate, and he assured me the game was worth investing some time into. There are now several additions to the game, with Baldur's Gate 3 on the horizon sometime in 2020. But each version has a story that is created by 2 or more of you. You can control up to 6 people, but Styx and I split them evenly between us, so we each had 3. Some of my characters could do things his couldn't, and vice versa, thus we had to work together. Through this, we wandered around and explored this story-centric, isometric RPG together. It's a classic experience that is difficult to come across in this day and age. The graphics are a little dated, but we all know that good graphics don't make a game. Although, if you want something more up-to-date, Remnant from the Ashes has come in like a quiet mouse with very little advertisement, but has grown into a game to get a solid head nod from most gamers. This is a third-person shooter that was released in August this year. It takes you through many different worlds with a Stranger Things-esque story where you actually get to shoot things. Lots of things. You can hit them, but you won't wanna. Bullets in the head. You'll understand why if you play it. You'll face varying different bosses straight out of the mind of Guillermo del Toro and have to work together to take them down, build strategies, and traverse the world side by side. The graphics, as you can tell, are super nice looking. You'll see quite a few screenshots on my Twitter. If you and your player 2 are looking for lots of fun, this is a game with a lot of replayability, as each time you play it proves to give you a different experience in terms of bosses and dungeons. For the final game, you know I had to mention a game that may make you want to beat your partner in the head for opening their mouth. But Divinity 2 Original Sin comes in at a last mention. I enjoy all the Divinity games, but Divinity 2 just had that special little something for me. But I'd recommend trying both. The RPG Divinity Original Sin came out in 2014, which is a prequel to Divine Divinity, while the second released in early access in 2016. You'll work together in battling through the world, and God forbid the other person says the wrong thing to the NPCs like I do and end up getting us in multiple fights that we can't possibly win. Basically, I need to be nicer in game. But what action Styx chose to do affected what I would choose to do next, and vice versa. I give this RPG 2 mouse clicks up. I know there's a lot of fun games you can play as couples not on this list. I'd like to hear what games you'd recommend to other couples because I'd love to play more. Also, if you have a story from gaming that involves you and your partner, you should leave it in the comments below because I'd love to read it. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Happy gaming! This was Mrs. Styx logging off for now. Bye!
Raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light